Hi, everyone. How are you today? Today on the podcast, we're going to talk about Pat-isms. I have all these things that I say with my prayers and um, things that just come to me. A lot of the sayings that I use have just been given to me by spirit. I can't always tell you where they came from or what I was doing at the time, but it's usually when I'm driving in the car or relaxed and not really thinking about anything. One of my favorite tools is a book by Louise Hay, and I'm going to hold it up here so hopefully you all can see it. How's that, Michael? Is that good? Get in there closer. It's called You Can Heal Your Life. Now, my copy is from 1984, so you'll find this book with covers that have like roses on it. They're muted purple and pinks, and they're all different copyrights date. This is a book that I have used as long as I can remember. And if you get it, I would like you to read it cover to cover. Louise Hay has since passed. Oh, gosh. Power of Intent. Wayne Dyer was one of her authors that worked with her all the time. And what you do is you go to the center of this book and you look up whatever's bugging you. Okay. My book's so old, it has fallen apart in many pieces. So you go to the center of the book, and like I'm having an issue right now with my like sinuses. So I would go to the center of this book. Okay. It came up to hips, and that's another issue for me. I have one hip replaced. It says the hip carries the body in perfect balance, a major thrust in moving forward. So when my hips start bothering me, I get my book out and I look at it. And the first affirmation is hip, hip, hooray, there's joy in every day. The second thing about hip problems is a fear of going forward in major decisions, thinking there's nothing to move forward to. The affirmation is I am in perfect balance. I move forward in life with ease and with joy at every age. It just seems to always fit. When I would travel with my husband and my children, or I travel alone, I always make sure I have a copy of this book with me, because something starts bothering me and I can go to the particular thing and look it up and say the affirmation. And 9 times out of 10, I'm feeling better right away. It's amazing to me. The first thing I'm going to start with is when I get up every morning, I thank my angels and guides for going before me this day, removing all discordance from my path. It's like when we have dis-ease. Discordance means the little minutia stuff that keeps popping up that kind of can put our day off track right away. I also do my prayer of Jabez. It's from 1 Chronicles in the Bible, chapter 4, verses 9 and 10. And that's all 500 begets and begots. And you've often heard me speak of this before. And you come to a sentence and it says, and Jabez wanted to be more honorable than his brothers. And his mother called his name Jabez because she said, I bore him in pain. So he lived his whole life with a name that meant pain. He would come up to you and say, hello, my name's Jabez. And you, instead of reaching out to shake his hand, you'd retract and go, don't hurt me. So he cried out to God this one sentence, oh, that you would bless me indeed, enlarge my territory, that you would keep your hand with mine, and that you would keep evil from me, so I may not harm others. And God granted his wish. He went on to be the leader of his tribe and did many wonderful things before he died. I call it rounding the corners. If I need help with something, I'll say to my friends, I don't know what I'm going to do, blah, 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 blah. And they'll say, oh, call Joe. I call Joe, and Joe goes, oh, Patty, I don't do that crap anymore. Call Bill. Tell him I told you to call. He'll take good care of you. I call Bill. Bill wants to make his friend happy. I'm going to get excellent service. Often they'll give you a little bit of a break because you're a referral from a friend. Or if I need to find something, I would just ask the angels to help me find it, give thanks for having found it, and I'll usually find that particular thing at a very reasonable price, or I'll find something that works just as well. I went to a retreat with White Dove Crow down in Charleston, West Virginia, a wonderful lady spiritual retreat. And we were in silence at night from like 11 at night till 6 in the morning. And I read my little book cover to cover. And I'll tell you, if you just say that for a week, I think you will really see a difference in your life. I always bless the plants and animals that gave their lives that we may all be nourished this day. I often will say the unity prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is. With the Louise Hay book, this is the big one. Now, my copy was $12, and I think they're up to probably $15, $16 now. There's also a smaller one with a blue cover that says Heal Your Body. That's just, forgive me, the guts of this book. Read them cover to cover. They will help you. She has at the beginning of every chapter, I don't know if I should call it a poem or a writing or what. And watch now, I won't be able to find one. Okay, here's one. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I am always divinely protected and guided. It is safe for me to look within myself. It is safe for me to look into the past. It is safe for me to enlarge my viewpoint of life. I am far more than my personality, past, present, or future. I now choose to rise above my personality problems, to recognize the magnificence of my being. I am totally willing to learn to love myself, and all is well in my world. There's one of those at the beginning of every chapter. And she also suggested every day, you should say, I love and approve of myself. Do you know how hard that is when you first start doing it? I couldn't look at the mirror and do it without laughing. I just couldn't do it. But I've learned to say, I love and approve of myself. We spend so much time beating ourselves up because we didn't do this, we didn't do that. I was going to do this. Oh, I'm so upset with that. And one of her other sayings that I use a lot is that I forgive myself for all things real and imagined, past, present, future. And I ask that anyone I may ever have harmed, forgive me for all things real and imagined, past, present, future. I release myself and them in love and in light, and I demand to be at peace. Because we spend so much time beating ourselves up over things that we normally have no control over, or it's in the moment and you think without speaking. There's another thing that I really like. I'd like y'all to look up Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono. That is about a psychiatrist, psychologist, a doctor in Hawaii. If you read The Secret, the book The Secret, or listen to the DVDs, his name is Dr. Hugh Lin, and his Hawaiian last name is rather long. He worked at a hospital for the criminally insane. And they had gone through so much staff, doctors, nurses, helpers, whatever, because even though these people were shackled either physically or chemically, they still would attack the staff. So people would quit. They just couldn't take it. He told them he would take the job, but he would never meet with these people. And what he did was he sat in an office with their file and he would read it. And he would simply say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, and thank you. When you do that, it goes 5 generations back and 5 generations forward. I think it was in less than 10 years. It's been a while since I've read the whole story. People were getting released. They were returning to society, and now they didn't need so much staff, so they're letting some of the staff go. And I believe the place closed. There were only 2 people that he did that for that were not released back into society. And these were people there for the criminally insane. And it's just absolutely fascinating. It's a wonderful thing to read. He felt that there was something in his ancestry that had collided with their ancestry, and therefore the seed got planted for this to go wrong. One of my other Louise Hay things is, I forgive you for not being the person I wanted you to be. I forgive you and I set you free. And I was saying that for a person that really irritated me, that wanted me to take responsibility for them and not make decisions on their own. They wanted me to guide them through everything. Can't do that. I cannot take on that responsibility. I can help you. I can assist you. But you, in the end, have to be the one that helped yourself. And about the third day, I was saying that, I realized not only was I saying it for that person, I was saying it for myself. It's absolutely fascinating. Um, I do these things without thinking. When I go to bed at night, I tell my physical body to rest while my etherical body does its work. And I'm sure you all do this too. You start thinking about something that happened at work, something you didn't get done, something not going the way you want it to go. So you work all night long in your sleep. I mean, you may have been in bed 8 hours to 10 hours, but you get up next morning and you're like, I am so exhausted. What is wrong with me? Why do I feel this way? It's because you just kept working all night. Another thing, I had a friend that worked at Interval Brotherhood Home here in Akron, and she was a recovering alcoholic, and so was her husband. And what they did at Interval Brotherhood Home, she was responsible for teaching them how to cook, how to wash clothes, how to mend clothes. And she was such a good woman, and she had that feeling. She'd know the ones that were going to make it and the ones that weren't. And they became her adopted kids, if you will, no matter what their age. And she would go home and she would be talking to her husband, and he would say, did you ever try leaving work at work? And she was there one night and she was staying late, of course, as she often did. And she was making her notes in her files and everything. And they were in cubicles, and she heard this male voice, and it said, did you not do your best today? And she's not thinking, she's just she's like, well, yeah, we all do our best every day here. That's what we do. And she kept going and going, and then she heard this male voice say, then give me the rest. You did your best. Now give me the rest. Let me work with you on this. And she later, when she was talking to her husband about it, he said, what do you think it was? And she said, I don't know. And then she said it was like this little light bulb went off in her head. And she said, it was God. And so that was her prayer every night. When she would finish her notes, she wouldn't labor over them. She wouldn't try to change them too much. She would try to figure out a way to help them. When she put that file in the drawer and she closed the drawer, work stayed at work. And so I love that one. When I'm working with something, or when somebody's really upset that things are not going their way, I ask them, please just say, I did my best. I give you the rest. And so you're giving it to God and the angels. When you shower every day, please see that water as the pure white light of God and the universe, and thank them for washing away any and all energy that is not for your highest and best good. I try always, when I leave a fair, to leave that energy there when I've done a reading, because there have been times in my life that I would carry this energy with me constantly, and I would literally almost have a nervous breakdown once or twice a year. And when I start walking around and I'm in a funk and I can't figure out what's going on, I will either go take a shower, or the next day when I take my shower, I have purple hair, guys. If the water's going to be any color, it's going to be purple. And I will look down and that water looks like I got out of a mud puddle instead of getting out of bed. I've been known to yell. And what you're doing is you're just asking them to wash away any and all energy, any situation, any memory of it that is not for your highest and best good. I did my best. I give you the rest. You know, some people, some things don't want to be fixed. And we try and try. And then what happens is we're enabling them instead of helping them to stand on their own 2 feet and do what they need to do. Trying to think of some of like I said, I do these, and when I'm talking to people, I just tell them these things, and they go, where'd that come from? And I go, I don't know. I've been doing it so many years, I don't even know where it came from. Something else you can do is take a relaxation or a cleanse bath. If things are you're just not feeling right, the shower's wonderful. I have difficulty getting out of a tub now, so that's my primary thing to do. But when I could, I used to take a cup of sea salt, a cup of baking soda, and a cup of Epsom salts. A nice warm bath. Take the phone off the hook. Soft music, whatever kind of music. I have one girlfriend that loves 9-inch nails. 9-inch nails is like, I don't think so. That's her relaxation music. Go for it. Nice warm bath. Unless you're using like lavender scented Epsom salts, the water, it's going to look like milk. Get in the tub, say the Lord's Prayer, soak and relax. You may fall asleep. That's okay too. You just soak and relax. As these thoughts come up, which they will, that's the whole idea. You bless them, you release them, and something else will come. Just keep doing that. I bless you, I release you, I've done my best, I give you the rest. Got to wash your hair in that water, because if you don't immerse yourself, stuff's still going to stick, you know. Then you wash off, you shower off, because if you don't, you're going to itch like a hound dog with fleas. And often when you look at the water, it looks dirty. My daddy was a coal miner, and sometimes he would wash in the sink, even if he was just getting ready to sit down and have a meal before he showered, and the water would be black. And it's like, wow, that works. Um, One of the other things that I suggest people do, and again, this came to me probably 25, 30 years ago. Um, you keep thinking about something and you can't talk to the person, because if you talk to them, you're opening a can of worms that maybe you don't want to open. Maybe you can't talk without getting into a screaming match. Sit down and write them a letter. I have several requests with this. Do not read it, mail it, keep it, or give it to anyone. Because if you can't talk to this person face to face, none of those things are going to work either. It's like peeling an onion. I don't care how sweet that onion is, by the time you're chopping it up, you're going to be crying. So you just keep writing. Just keep writing till you feel like you're done. One of my ladies called me after she did it, and she said, I wrote your letter all right. She said, I thought you were crazy. I wrote 14 legal pages, front and back. I signed it. I put it in the envelope. I sealed the envelope. I addressed it to the angels. I took it outside and burned it up. And she said, I took the next day off at work. She said, I was feeling pretty good. I just took the next day off at work. And she was a mid-level executive with her own office and all that. And she said, when I went to work on Tuesday, that was on a Sunday, she said, everybody looked at me. I guess her nickname around the office was the Devil Wears Prada. And she said, nothing. I wrote a letter. And I said, sure. And then she caught him talking in the coffee room saying, I wonder who she killed and where we're hiding the body. She said she felt so good, she never gave it another thought. And she said it was about 4 or 5 months later, something happened that triggered some thought in her and sent her from 0 to 60, nothing flat. She said, I told them, hold my calls. I closed my office door. I wrote 5 more pages front and back on office letterhead, put it in an envelope, sealed it up, addressed it to the angels, told them I was going for coffee. And they said, but she said, I'm going for coffee. She said, I got in my car. I drove to the back of the parking lot. I burned up the letter. I came back in, and she said, I was all smiles. And they're looking at me like, what did you do? She said, I wrote a letter. And she's calling me now, like 2 or 3 years later, whoever was the person that had sent her into orbit, because she said, I couldn't believe I saw several of these people had to deal with these same situations over and over again, but they never got to me again. And something happened. It was about 6 months later that this person sent her from 0 to 60 and nothing flat. She wrote that letter and she says, I know they try to get to me. I know they do, because I'm a rules girl. And if we're supposed to do it this way, I'll work with you, but I'm not making a right angle out of that rule that's supposed to be, it's vertical. And she said, I just got to thank you again. Every once in a while, I'll get a call from her or email or something telling me thank you for doing that for her. I helped to save her sanity and probably helped her from not killing someone. It's very important to be thankful. When you're seeking something, always be thankful for having received. Thank you for my money, having money to pay this bill and money left over. I tell people when the bills come, hold them in your hands, bless them, thank the universe that you have money to pay it and money left over. It'll start out being a nickel. Eventually it'll be $5. Eventually it'll be not so much an issue anymore. I tell people put ground cinnamon in their checkbook and their wallet, because stick cinnamon was once traded like gold, just like chocolate. It was so rare, and many other spices. Um, I love my nail tech. I've been going there probably 6 years now. And when things are slow, like in right after Christmas through February, I will tell her, put cinnamon in your cash register drawer, or sprinkle cinnamon across the doorway. I don't know why, it just helps. Plus, I love the smell of it. Put your money facing the same way in your wallet so it recognizes you and returns. An old friend taught me that one. One of the funniest ones that I do, I belong to In the time I was a realtor and a broker, I went to many networking meetings, and one of the guys had just come back from South Carolina, and he and his wife had bought a 4-unit property down there, little apartment building. And they went to this little coffee shop for dinner because they usually didn't feel like cooking a meal or doing anything. They were down there working constantly. And they went to the restaurant, and all of a sudden, all the waitresses are going out the door, and they're standing out in the parking lot holding their aprons up and saying something. And they couldn't figure out what the devil was going on. So when they came back in, they go, well, what was all that about? And they said it was a full moon. So you take a purse, a bag, your wallet, your apron, whatever you have on, you hold it out so it can catch things, and you go, moon, moon, beautiful moon, fill her up, fill her up, fill her up. And it works. And my husband, who was a research chemist, didn't believe in this woohoo stuff that I did, he called it. And I would catch him out on a deck with his wallet open on a full moon and go, woohoo, what? But I even got him trained to do these things. I ask the angels to clear my path. If I know I'm going to have to call someone to get service or to complain about the lack of service or something's broken, I always send my angels before me. I thank them for helping me to connect to the person that can help me the most. And it works. On the days I don't remember to do that, I don't make very much progress. So it's just it's fascinating how these things work. I call on St. Anthony a lot. If you ever watch soap operas and you remember All My Children, the matriarch of the family, gosh, I can't remember her name anymore, but she had lost a diamond ring, and she's on there and she's fussing and fuming and carrying on. She can't find it. They have servants. The servants can't find it. So she goes, Tony, Tony, turn around. Something's lost that must be found. I need to find that right now. And within, by the end of the program, she had found whatever it is. I do it so much. I go, it's me again, St. Anthony. I need a little help down here. And it's funny because I got a text today from a lady who had called me. She was looking for an aunt's will. She had passed away and there was property that had to be dealt with. And she knew she had a copy of the will. Her mother had given it to her, but she had no idea where it was. So I told her, I said, sit down and talk to St. Anthony. Thank him for helping you to find whatever it is that you're seeking. And I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, he comes through. It will turn up. You'll find it. Not always in places you expected it to be, but as long as you find it, it doesn't matter. You can use dowsing rods to do that. You can use a pendulum to do that. I've had people make drawings of their floor plan, hold the pendulum out, and ask it, what room do I need? You hold it over every room. Is it in this room, this room, this room? When you find the room that it's in, you do, again, a drawing of that room. And then you start asking, is it in this corner, that closet, wherever? And it's amazing how this stuff works. When things are going crazy around your house, sea salt is like ground crystal. Go out the door you normally come and go by. Go to the right, go around your house and sprinkle a sea salt. Come back to where you started, come a car length away from the front of your house, and go across your driveway. Pokey, quit. That's my dog. She's here bumping a table. And it will break the energy. It will break the energy. And then if you have someone in your house that just constantly likes to argue or pick, or if you have kids and they're all fighting, not that they ever argue or anything, put a pinch of sea salt in the corners of the rooms where you spend the most time or where this tends to happen. Come back to where you start when you go around your house and just go across your driveway. I usually tell people about a car length away from the front of the house and a car length in from the street. I want to hit it from both. And what's so funny about that is that it'll be like they forgot something. They'll try to come in your house and it's like they forgot something. They either go back out and come back in, or they'll go to their car or something. If you work in an office or in any kind of a commercial space and you want to keep someone away from you, you salt your doorway, or you salt the ends of the aisle if you're in cubicles in an aisle. And it just tends to slow them down a little bit and stops this crazy activity. Something else you can do is that if somebody in your house is just always on edge, take your fingers, get some lavender oil. And if this pencil with a bottle of lavender oil, take the cap off, shake it on your finger, get it on your finger, smear your fingers around and go to the cold light bulbs in the area and just touch the light bulb so that as the light bulb is on, the oil diffuses. You can buy little oil diffusers that will often fit on the type of light on the top of the light bulbs, or you can use a diffuser, that mist diffuser, but I found that works just as well. And if someone's having trouble sleeping, I would do it on the bulbs in the light in our ceiling fan in our bedroom, and it would just kind of help us to calm down a little bit. Just listen to ask your angels, ask your guides, what can I do here? Like I said, I do so much of this all the time that I don't think about them. If someone keeps aggravating you and you want to keep them away from you, you can wish them health, wealth, and happiness 5 states away, but only for their highest and best. I always bless my food before I eat it. I bless my money when I spend it. I thank the angels for coming and helping me to see what I need to see so I can do what I need to do. I'm just a little bit of a thing here about what else I do. Like I said, I do so much of this naturally, I don't think about it. And then my friends will go, "You should write these Pat-isms down." I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And then by the time I get home, I've forgotten what I'm going to write about. So, and they say as you get older, the memory's the first to go. Can't remember the rest of it. Mike, can we take a quick break? Thank you. We'll be back shortly.
Divine Awakening's New Age Emporium and Healing Arts Shop. It's the largest locally owned and operated metaphysical retailer in the Sandusky, Ohio Tri-County area. Serving the Firelands region since April of 2014, they're pleased to offer a space that is welcoming, relaxing, and open to everyone. In the Emporium, you will find a variety of unique gifts, special events and services, as well as classes and workshops to soothe your mind, body, and spirit. If you're in the Sandusky, Ohio area, look for Divine Awakenings at 1006 Tiffin Avenue, Sandusky, Ohio. Their phone number is 419-502-9137, and you can find them on Facebook at /Divine Awakenings LLC.
Okay. That's about all I can think of right now, guys. I'm sure there'll be others as soon as we quit this. Then I'll be going, "Oh, why didn't you say this? And why didn't you do that?" Spend time in the sunshine. I do talk to trees. I think you might find it helpful. There's a cartoon in our paper, and I can't remember the name of it, but she's always going out and leaning on her tree and talking to it. I think sometimes it's just the idea of being in nature and allowing nature to allow us to relax. Thank the angels for letting you see what you need to see so you can do what you need to do. And don't be so hard on yourself. This too shall pass. It may not pass as quickly as we would like, but it will pass. And I have a wonderful friend named Mary, and I have a little note on my refrigerator that she made for me one time. Remember, in time, on time, ahead of time, and all the time. But God's time, not our time. And when we want it yesterday, and it's like, no, the time's not right for another week or 2 or a year or whatever. So take care. Don't be so hard on yourself. Remember, I love and approve of myself every day. Okay? This is Pat Beers. See y'all later.